Thanks for joining us. My name's Shannon from Strategic Intervention Solutions. Today this video is going to be a tutorial on the Deco Dot Duel game. If you're new to us, our website is sis4teachers.org. We'd also love it if you joined us on Facebook at Strategic Intervention Solutions. The Deco Dot Duel game will feature a game that's similar to War, where kids are trying to flip different quantities and find out who has more or who has less. The Deco Dot Duel game can also be differentiated by the Deco Dot Duel Challenge game, where kids are going to do a double flip. This is a great game for kids kind of midway through kindergarten and up. Let's play. If a student ever flips and they get the same number, we simply just flip an additional card, and in this case, the child would then earn 4 cards instead of 2. The object of the game is to be able to get the most cards at the end once you've made it through the deck. There's a Deco Dot game board here that you can laminate, or we always suggest putting it into a clear sleeve so that you can kind of put one side of the game board on the easy side and the other side of the game board on the challenge. Over here we have our Deco Dot Duel activity card indicator to let students know if they're coming to the station what they need to go get out of the mass salad bars. They would need to go and get their game board as well as their accountability sheet. You could let them know if they're in the red, yellow, or the green deck, and then it's a 2-player game. In this game, I'm going to use the red deck of Deco Dots, but we've also included the wild card in here. In this game, you can use the wild card if you want to, or you can pull it out if it's too complicated for kids. The idea is to have the deck of cards shuffled and placed in the middle. It's a 2-player game where they're going to flip to see who has more. So I flipped 2, my partner flipped 0. This one has more. There's an accountability sheet that goes with it that the kids can fill out their own individual one if they want to. So they could say my number is 2, my partner's number is 0, and I could show that that one is greater. If kids are unfamiliar with the greater than less than sign, you could have them highlight which number is higher, just any way to show who kind of won as far as having the higher deck. So if the students win, they get to pull those 2 cards, and those cards get to go for that player to keep, because you're trying to collect as many cards as possible. In this case, we flipped up a wild. So student A here has 4. Student B has a wild, so they want to use this to their advantage to not make it 4 or not make it 3 because they would lose or have a war, but they would rather make it a 5 so that they would automatically win. So again, I would write my partner's, my number is 4, my partner made their wild 5 is greater, and then that person would win the card. You'd continue going through the deck of cards that you're working with. At the end of the deck, whoever has the most cards wins the game. The students would turn in the accountability sheet to you to show that they were actually showing what they were doing. If you notice, there's not enough spaces on the sheet for how many rounds they're going to play, but just enough to show that they understand the concept of the game and you're able to check in. You can also differentiate this by using the yellow deck to make it be the 10 frame, or you can make this more complicated and put them in the green deck where it's a scatter. Just be really careful with this game that kids are not touching and counting. With Deco Dots, if you see kids touching and counting the dots, they're one-to-one counting. We want them to build the idea of conservation through subitizing, which is to instantly tell us how many they see without counting and be able to communicate their thinking. In this game, we're going to show the extension for Deco Dots with the Deco Dot Challenge. We call it Deco Dot Double Flip because students can flip 2 cards. This game is much better if we use it in 1st grade, 2nd grade, as kids are going higher with their combinations and understanding how to add them. Again, you can pick the red deck, the yellow deck, or the green deck to show how you'd want to do it. There's a new accountability sheet here where students are having to write in their sum, their partner's sum, and decide who is larger or who's smaller. This game is played just the same way, however, we're going to flip 2 cards. So partner A is going to flip their 2 cards, and then the partner B is going to flip theirs. Partner A should really communicate to their partner how they're getting their total. So a child here might instantly be able to say that they know that they have 10, and the reason for that is they have 8 and then 2 more. They add their 10 to their 4, they have 14. So here they're going to write that addition problem that they have 10 plus 4 equals 14. Their partner is going to add their numbers. Now students here will use the grid here sometimes to help them. They may have different ways of thinking of it. So some kids might know that that's 6, but they realize it's kind of short one. So kids might say 9. You don't want them to go 9, 10, 11, 12. You want them to figure out a way that it might work. So maybe I want to consider having that dot pushed into the frame so I know that that is 10. And now I'm going to look at what I have left, which is 5, so I instantly know that my total is 15. So when I go to right here, I'm going to go ahead and put my 9 plus my 6 equals the 15. We have the sum of 14 and we have the sum of 15. So in this case, the students would know that partner B is the winner, and so they get to win all 4 cards in this game. I'm playing with quite a higher level. Because the students might want to be more challenged with this game. However, like I said before, you can easily take the red deck or the yellow deck and make this a lot easier. I also could just take out all the cards that don't have stars on Dotson's shoes and make it a lot easier because it would only be a sum of 10. So when I'm doing this, it's going up to a sum of 20. When the wild cards appear in a game, the student can make it any value they want up to the highest number in the deck. So the highest it could be is 10. When looking at this game, student B here, partner B might put these 2 in the frame to know they have 10 and one more is 11. When I come over here, I have 6. I'm not going to want to say that I have 4 for the wild. I might, take the easy way out and just make it a 10 so that I have 16. But you want kids to know they really only need to be 1 more than their partner. So if my partner over here has 11, I would just need to make sure that this wild was worth 6, because that way there I could make it kind of 12. So again, the kids would record whatever they decide to make the wild. The student with the higher deck, with the higher sum, is going to take that to win. Once you get through the whole deck, whoever has the most cards in the deck, they're going to go ahead and be the winner of the game. Remember, there's not enough slots for them to do every single round they're doing, but what we're wanting for the accountability sheet is to show that kids are responsible in a station, able to get their own items, and that they're actually working on the mathematical concept that we want them to. Thank you for joining us today for the tutorial video on Deco Dot Duel. We hope that you found it helpful to see how easy it is to differentiate and how you can use the accountability sheets to see that students are developing areas of numeracy. There are a ton of resources and other tutorial videos on Deco Dots on our website at sis4teachers.org. I'm Shannon, the creator of Deco Dots, and I hope that you have a great time playing this with your students.